Hey there, YouTube.
Hey YouTube, Future Marcus here. I actually shot this video back in 2018, but I think it's still a really neat trick, and it's still one of my most popular CodePen pens, so I thought it was still relevant and I wanted to post it on this YouTube channel, so I hope you enjoy.
Let's just jump right in.
Alright, so before we get started, I just wanted to give you a quick peek at what we're going to be creating. The iOS toggle switch, iOS inspired toggle switch, I should say. And when you click on it, it changes color. We've got a little bit of an animation here in the middle that it kind of gets a little bit wider as you click, and then when you let go it pops over. So we'll be taking care of all of that, and we're going to do all of that without any JavaScript. That's just going to be CSS. So we're actually going to get started with just this checkbox on the label. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already gone ahead and put our centering CSS in here for the body. Now all that does is just ensure that whatever we type in the HTML field is going to end up in the middle of our preview window over here. So we're actually going to get started with that checkbox. So let's give that type of checkbox, and we'll go ahead and ID that toggle and give it a class as well of toggle. We'll close that up, and as you can see right in the middle, we've already got a checkbox. Now we just need that label. We're actually going to do most of our styling on the label. The checkbox is going to be hidden, but will be there for, usability's sake. If you use this as part of a real form somewhere, then the actual data that's getting passed is going to be connected to that checkbox and not to the label itself. But we're going to be styling the label. So let's add a label for our toggle. Close that and just write the word toggle in the middle. So already we've got our checkbox, we've got our toggle. The toggle as a label here allows us to click on the label itself to check that box on and off. And that's going to be really important because all of our interactivity is going to be on the label, but our form value is actually going to need to get passed through that checkbox still. So it's important that they connect to each other. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start by hiding that checkbox, and we called that toggle. So we'll give that a width of 0, a height of 0, and we'll just remove the visibility from it. And you can see that that's disappeared. Now if I click on toggle, it is checking that box and unchecking that checkbox in the background, but we just can't tell yet since we've hidden it. So let's go ahead and get started by styling our label just a little bit. We're going to, let's give that a width of 200 pixels and a height of 100 pixels. Let's give that something that we can use to see it. So we got a background gray. Now you could set this up with variables for your height and width if you're using something like Sass or less, but we're gonna stick to just some fixed values for this example. Alright, let's make that display block. Let's give that a pretty high border radius just to make sure that it rounds those corners. Anything over 50 will do, half the height. If you go any less than that, you'll have some flat edges on the sides, but you could do 1,000. But we'll just stick to 100 for now. That toggle switch is going to end up inside here, and we're going to need to make this position relative so we can position that inside the box. Just a couple of other little things. We're going to give this a cursor value of pointer so that it doesn't look like text, or make sure that people realize that it's clickable. And then we need to get that word toggle out of there, and we're just going to do that with a negative text indent and some high value. So now toggle's gone, and we've kind of laid the groundwork for our toggle switch here. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and get that circle on the inside, and to do that we're going to use the after pseudo element. We add a content property to that, but leave it blank. We're going to need to position that absolutely inside of there. We're going to offset it just a tiny bit from the top and from the left. And then let's go ahead and make it so that we can see something here. Width and height of 90 pixels. I'm just doing the math here. From the top, 5, another 90 would leave us 5 at the bottom. And same with and then same value for the width, just to keep it a circle. Let's give that a background. And let's see what I'm missing here. Not absolutely. Absolute. There we go. And now you can already see where that's going to go, and we just need to give that a radius as well so that we can make that a circle. So let's just go ahead and call that 100 pixels as well. And there we've got our switch in the middle. Now it doesn't do anything. I can click on it and it is toggling that checkbox in the background. But right now we still can't see anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to check to see when that input is checked. Then look at our label and change the background, and you can change this to whatever color you want, but I like this shade of green. And so now you can see that when it's checked, the background changes to green, but we haven't moved this toggle switch yet. But already we can see that that's doing something when I click on it. So let's leave that, and we will go ahead and toss this toggle to the other side here once it's checked. So again, we're going to look to see if that input is checked, and then we'll take the label after pseudo element and we're going to slide it over to the other side. So what we are going to do here is a little bit of trickery to make the math work. So we're going to actually set the left to 100% minus the 5 pixels, and that's going to push it all the way over to the other side. And then so we're going to use a transform to pull that back just a tiny bit. So we'll translate on the x-axis and bring it back 100% of itself, and that'll put it exactly that 5 pixels away from the right edge that we wanted, the same as the left edge. So now you can already see that toggling it on and off gives us the basic background change and swaps the toggle switch from one side to the other. All we want to do now, just to kind of cap this off, is to add that little animation stretch in between, just to kind of give it that little bit of extra interactivity. So to do that, we're actually going to use the labels active pseudo class on the after pseudo element. I know it gets a little complicated here. We're kind of layering some things, but when the label is active, in other words, when it's on a mouse down, when it's being clicked on before you let go of the click, then we want to do something to this after element. And all we're going to do there is just make it a tiny bit wider. And I'll go with 130 pixels. So you can see how I click on it, it gets a little bit wider and then pops over to the other side. Looks like the only other thing that I forgot to add is just to smooth that out a tiny bit. Back on the after pseudo element, we just want to come in here and add a transition, and you can make that something short and snappy, like 3 or 0.3 or 0.3 seconds. So now it, see how it does a little bit of an animation, a little bit of a transition from one width to the other before it snaps over. And if that looks like it's going a little bit too slow, then you can always speed that up by dropping the time.
And that's it. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more web design and development tutorials like this one, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified for future videos. We'll catch you in the next one.